YouTube, it's Rebecca, and I'm back after having 5 days off where I did absolutely dick and did not make any videos, which I feel very guilty about because I was literally doing nothing. I mean, I played West of Loathing, which was super fun, but like I didn't do anything else. There was nothing taking up my time. I had no excuses. I just didn't make any videos. Like, I sat around and thought about making videos and then didn't do it because I am terrible. I'm terrible. Just like I'm gonna take it now. Take it now, but I don't even know what I'm saying. But no, like for real, lazy as shit. Not getting anything done, just sitting around fucking off for 5 days, which was wonderful, by the way. Like, if you ever get the chance to just do nothing for 5 days, it's the best feeling in the world, unless that's your entire life, at which point it doesn't feel that good after a long time. But like, if you live a busy life where you're working a lot and then you have 5 days where you don't have to do anything, and I mean not anything, it is like, honest to God, heaven. It is the best thing in the world. But I should have made videos. I totally could have made a video I could have made 2 videos every day with how much time I had, and I didn't, and I feel bad. But on to what we're actually going to talk about, which is, I have a confession to make. I have a real problem. I have been spending a lot of money that I shouldn't be spending on dice. Fucking dice. I think that part of the reason I like D&D so much is not so much because D&D is fun, but because it gives me an excuse to buy tons and tons of dice. I've always liked dice. Ever since I was a little kid, I liked dice. My dad used to be really into model cars, and that's actually what this room that I'm in used to be, that you can kind of see around me. It used to have a bunch of model cars on the walls. It doesn't anymore because my dad doesn't live here, which I've discussed in previous videos, why that happened. But after his stuff was gone, I kind of took over the room, but I'm tangenting. He used to really like model cars, and so we would go to hobby shops all the time. That was something he liked to do when he was watching me or taking care of me or doing stuff and had to be a responsible adult and not leave me alone at the house. We would go to game shops and stuff like that, anywhere that they had model cars, anywhere that they had model paint, anything like that, magazines, any of that. And so a lot of these places were like not just model stores or model car stores, they were like all type game shops. And one of the ones we went to had first off, they had a model train that was in the corner, and it was really big, and it was really cool, and it was really detailed, and it said do not touch on it. It said do not touch, don't do anything, just don't leave your kids near this. My dad didn't pay any fucking attention to me while he was doing stuff. I literally touched it every time we went in there. Every fucking time I went in there, I poked the little people, I poked the little trees, I did everything. I touched that whole fucking thing. I put my hands all the fuck over it, and I feel nothing about that. No remorse, zero remorse is the best thing ever. Yeah, so I did that. But other than that, while I was there, I liked looking at trading cards because Pokemon was a thing at the time, and also I got a pack of Sailor Moon trading cards there once, which was really cool, and I kind of regret that I never got more of them. I had a Sailor Venus card in my first pack, which was really cool, even though she was not my favorite Sailor Scout at the time. Tangent. Anyway, but the big thing there that I loved more than anything was just like the fuck ton of dice they had, because at that point it was like the 90s, and so D&D was still like a thing and had been a thing, and so were other games that required dice, and they had all sorts of fucking awesome colored speckled cool dice, and I loved those fucking dice. I loved looking at them. I loved touching them. I think that one of the cashiers there used to let me play with them because it meant that I was preoccupied and not touching the fucking train set that was awesome in the corner. If you didn't catch that already, I loved touching that thing when I was not supposed to. That was awesome. But yeah, so I would play the dice and I loved them. And one day my dad decided to let me pick out 3d6s. Where is my camera so that I can do that? 3d6s. because D6s were just, you know, you use them in like every normal board game. They weren't really specialized to like D&D or other like role-playing games. Like you could use them for anything. And so I got to pick out a personalized one for me, for my mom, and for my dad, so that when we played board games, we had our own dice. And I was super freaking insistent for years about us using our own dice. I would not play games if I didn't have my own dice. And my mom had to use her dice and my dad had to use his dice. And I had this really cool rainbow speckled one that was just like white spots with like the little dot indicators for numbers as opposed to numbers written on there on the sides. And my mom had a gray one with red dots that was really cool because it was like gray and white speckled, and then the red dots, so it really popped. And my dad got this ugly ass brown dice that was speckled with just plain white spots, probably because I secretly didn't like my dad very much. That's a mean thing to say. I love my father, I loved my dad at the time, but looking back on it, I find it funny that I got him the ugliest ass fucking dice I've ever seen. I hate that thing. It's still in the house right now. Like, I could go and find it. It's this ugly ass, sad looking brown dice, whereas I got my mom and me really cool fucking dice. But yeah, I fucking loved that. And like I said, I was super insistent about us using our own dice. And so, like, after my brother was born, we didn't have a dice for him. We didn't play, like, board games as much with him when he was little, and so he didn't have one. And then when he got older, we would play board games, and then I just didn't have a D6 for him, and so like we went back to using just whatever was in the box. But I never really stopped liking dice. I always thought dice were really cool. If we were in a place with them, I liked looking at the cool dice. And so once I got into D&D and dice, like having dice was part of the game, it kind of unleashed the beast inside of me. The beast that loves dice, that thinks they're freaking cool. Which is why I have 16 sets of dice right now. I've been playing D&D for about 1 year and 3 months now. Technically speaking, it was actually 2 years and 3 months is when I first played. But like, I didn't even have my own thing at the time. I wasn't super into it. I was still kind of testing it out, seeing if I liked D&D, and I wasn't totally sold on it. But I totally got sold on it about 1 year and 3 months ago when I started playing like every week. And I ended up buying like a 5-pack, like a starter Dungeon Master 5-pack of dice, which were all super cool and I loved. And they were like sparkly or shimmery or cool looking. And that kind of started my collection. And then I started looking into other dice because I was like, oh, these are pretty cool. And then I kind of fell down the rabbit hole. And over the last 1 year and 3 months, I have bought up, like, I have gotten 16 sets, plus then, like, technically I've bought more because I bought some for my brother, and, like, it's kind of out of control right now. I have way too many dice, which I'm going to show you because I fucking love them. And I actually have my own dice box, which I made. I actually have 2 technically. I have this one, which I made about 1 year ago when I started, and then put some of mine in. But then I have one that I use when I'm DMing, which is actually this giant makeup case that I have right here, which is really cool. And it has not only all of my dice in it, it has all of my minis, which I've collected because I'm a huge nerd and I don't care. Also, it's super convenient to carry around, and I found it in the trash. So it was free, and free is the best thing of all. It also smells like really faint old perfume, and at first I was like, it really grossed me out, so I tried to clean it out of there, but now every time I open it, it just reminds me of D&D, so it's cool. I love it. But no, these are my dice. I have a problem. I already said I have 16 sets, but then I also have a bunch of extra dice. I have, in this box, I have 3 extra D6, which are all red, translucent ones that I took out of an old Risk game because, like, a couple months ago, I'm going to say probably back in like March or April, we decided to clean out our old board game closet, which is full of games. It's full of games because we keep buying board games because we love board games. Go figure. But over the years, we just had a bunch of them that either had lost parts or that we had gotten from garage sales that never had all the parts, or that we bought and then we played it once and we were like, this game is terrible. And so we just kind of stuck it in there. And so my mom was like, go through, get rid of everything we don't play or that is ruined, And so I did, but while we were going through them and we were looking to make sure things had all their pieces, I was like, all of these games we're getting rid of have amazing dice in them, and I'm not throwing the dice out because I have a problem, which I've said. I have an issue. I love dice, and I didn't want them to go to waste. So I took these guys, which I have 3 of them because they were with Risk. These were the red ones that we rolled for Risk, and I took them because they're cool, and they look like cubes of Jell-O, and I'm in love with them. And I use them for everything. And then I also have somewhere in here, I have a tiny dice that is literally like the smallest thing in the world, which is this guy, and I love it. It is so cool. It's just solid red. It's not interesting like my other ones. Like most of mine are super sparkly because I like sparkly things. Fucking shit, where'd it go? I'll find it in a second. But I have a real problem, and I keep buying them, and I just have a ton of them. I have blue, I have black, I have these really cool ones that were designed on Etsy. Like someone on Etsy makes them, and they're supposed to be like melon soda, which is rad. They're also weirdly matte to the touch, which is interesting because I have a tactile thing as well, so these are really fun to just hold. But yeah, I have a ton of them. Like this is my main dice collection. Like I said, I have a bunch of extras that I took from board games. Like, and when I say dice, I don't just mean like regular number dice. I literally took all of the dice out of the Boggle set that we were getting rid of and kept those because I decided I could use them for things. Like, I literally was like, we can't throw these away. I can find a use for them. And I did. I actually name characters with them sometimes when I just need an on-the-spot character name. I name towns with them for D&D, which is super cool because you get like a bunch of random letters and you're like, how can I make this into something that resembles the name of a town? But I mostly did that because I'm a dice hoarder and I just can't get rid of stuff like that. But yeah, this is my collection right here. It is literally 16 sets of dice plus the jelly red dice that I love. They're all pretty much cool and sparkly because that's what I like. Except for a couple of them, I like have these black, totally black precision dice, but they are kind of sparkly because I used a silver crayon to get the markings clear, and like I did the crayon rubbing style thing. So those are cool. And then I have these black ones, which are just like weirdly kind of marbly with silver. So they're shiny, but they're not really glittery. But yeah, I have a huge problem. Oh, I also have these purpley matte ones, which are like, they're not sparkly like everything else, but this is my favorite fucking color in the world, this purpley color. And some of you out there are probably like, that's blue, Rebecca. Fuck you. I have 4 color cones in my eyes. I know better than you what color this is. It's fucking purple. Don't comment it. Damn it. I get really defensive about this color because I have so many people fucking tell me it's blue and it drives me absolutely fucking crazy. But yeah, I have this as well. And I have too many. I have 16 sets plus a whole bunch of other shit, plus all of the Boggle dice, plus everything I took out of games, which includes a couple D8s. I have a D12 that has like a cool dragon eye on it because I had a game called Dragonology, which was a thing like back in, gosh, I was in high school at the time. I was way too old for it, but my brother was really into Dragonology, which got me really into it because I liked to do stuff with him. And so we bought this board game that was Dragonology where you had to go around and collecting dragons thing. Like you had to catch them, you had to have 3 of them or whatever. It was weird. It was like Dungeons and Dragons plus Pokemon plus weird historical shit. It was very strange. But the D12 that was in it that you needed has a dragon eye for the 12, so I kept that because that's fucking cool. I also kept all of the dragons, even though they're really not sized properly for like Dungeons and Dragons scale dragons. But they work in a pinch, so there's that. But yeah, I'm totally obsessed with them. I can't stop buying them. I can't get rid of dice. Also, if anyone sees those Fire Opal Crystal Cast dice for sale anywhere, let me know. I don't care how you get that information to me. If you see them for sale, you better fucking tell me because I need them. They're so pretty. They're the coolest fucking things to look at. No offense to my babies over here, but I want them more because I have a problem and I have to have all of them. So yeah, so I just wanted to talk about this because it's legitimately my shopping thing. Like I've always kind of had a problem. I don't necessarily have a problem spending money. I do spend money, but I'm actually kind of good with money in a weird way. Like I always make sure my bills are paid. I always like leave like as much as I can in my bank account. Like I don't try to spend everything. Like if I have money, it doesn't necessarily burn a hole in my pocket. I try to save up for cool shit as well, or like if I'm making a big purchase, I shop around really well. I'm not impulsive with it, which makes this such a weird thing for me because I'm super impulsive. Like, I'm so impulsive. If I see dice online that are sparkly, even if I wasn't planning on buying dice, I buy the dice. That's kind of what happened with these melon dice. I like looked at them and they were $25 on Etsy. And I was like, most dice are like $6 to $8, so there's no way I'm ever gonna buy those even though they look cool. And I mean, clearly since I am holding this, I have it. I paid the $25. I bought them. And not only that, they have a blue and a pink version, and I'm also gonna buy those when I get the money. I technically have the money right now, but I can't justify the purchase because technically I justified this as a birthday purchase that I used my birthday money on. Since I didn't get any gifts, really, I just got money. So I was like, oh, it's a birthday thing. I did it for my birthday. And that's how I can justify it in my own head. That landed on a 6. That was kind of disappointing. I hoped it landed on 20. It did not. It doesn't matter. But yeah, so that's just kind of a look into something I'm really into. And also kind of like a dirty confession of mine. So yeah, I hoard dice. That's my thing. And I hope that I can kind of do more of these videos where I'm just kind of like letting you guys into kind of what I'm into. I keep saying kind of a lot. It's really irritating. I don't mean to do that. Sorry. But for lack of other adjectives, I just really want to kind of open up about stuff I like and stuff I do and stuff I spend too much money on. Because like I used to buy clothes online a lot, but that didn't work out very well because clothes online is really unpredictable. Whereas dice, they're very predictable. They're always dice. They always come and they look exactly the fucking same. So I kind of switched from occasionally buying clothes to constantly buying dice. But yeah, so that's my thing. And let me know in the comments if there's a thing that you are spending all of your money on. Well, not all of your money, but maybe all of your money. Just let me know. I love to know what people collect. I love to know what people like can't stop buying, what people just like to frickin' look at because they're so pretty and shiny. And look at this. Look at this. That's not even in shot. Look at this. It's all turquoisey and pretty with gold numbers. Tell me that doesn't look like the Caribbean fucking sea. It's amazing. It's so fucking cool. But yeah, so let me know and I will see you guys tomorrow because I'm gonna make myself do more videos because I like doing these and it's just a matter of not sitting on my ass and actually doing what I'm supposed to do with these. So I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.